Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you very much, Japo. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's look at what the governor did say recently. But let me just ask, is it possible to sort of, divide traditional rulers? Can you, divide them from politics, or they're just intertwined?
Well, traditional rulers are custodians of our culture, and they are also a tier of government, if they must be seen as such, that tends to harness, look after the local communities, the autonomous communities, try to maintain law and order, peace, and harmonious environment. They are not supposed to be involved in politics. They are not.
But till now, is it? Would you say they still maintain their relevance, that the sanctity and the sacredness of being cultural custodians? Are they still that vanguard?
Well, times have changed. Things have changed, equally. And it's difficult to find any aspect of life or engagement that has that. There has been a little bit dilution of some of these value, and it becomes quite apparent that while traditional rulers are not supposed to play politics, partisan politics, but they're always consulted by their sons and daughters who are getting into politics, at least to receive a royal blessing before they start their journey. So somehow, something happens, but professionally and by virtue of they are not supposed to play politics.
I mean, we're seeing a governor right here that is saying that this very, very respected individual should prioritize unity above politics and also community development and all. But looking at the person of the governor himself, Hope Uzodinma, and his administration so far, how would you rate it?
Well, it's a work in progress. Imo State is a
work in progress after how many years?
Yeah, it's a work in progress. He finished his first tenure, 4 years, and he's on his second tenure.
And still a work in progress.
He has really, impacted on infrastructural developments in Imo State. A lot, both tangible and intangible areas, and I think, personally, I think he's doing well.
How about in the area of security?
Well, security has been an issue which is not quite seen in Imo. Security is a problem, it's a menace in the country. But sometimes the wave, the tide, might come onto a particular state, but generally, security is a problem. All the states are involved. The only state that perhaps is immune from security like kidnappers or non-government, it's places like Lagos State. But in Lagos State, you can't kidnap someone. Where are you going to hide? There's no bush in Lagos State. So it makes it difficult for such operations. But you go to the northern states, go to the south, everywhere it's a problem. It's a national issue. Imo State had its those when Governor Uzodinma came into power in 2020. The prisons, were let loose. Criminals flooded everywhere. From there, the Nnamdi Kanu issue came up. They got unknown gunmen, criminals mixed up with unknown gunmen, and it's just been like that across the entire southeast. South, you have their own problem. The north, the entire north is engulfed in security.
But is Governor Hope Uzodinma, is he managing the situation well?
It's a problem everywhere.
But is the governor of the state, is he managing the situation well? Can residents of Imo confidently say they feel safe?
Let me tell you, Dapo, if we didn't have a strong-willed man like the governor at that particular time, this place would have been a war zone. He took his resilience, his courage, his strategy, working with security agencies to bring down insecurity in Imo State. Before you can't come, you can't cross Imo, Anambra, Ebonyi, Abia. It was that bad. But today, are you getting news about Imo? You are not getting any news about Imo. The world is safe. Everywhere is safe. Occasionally there'll be flashes. But what we experienced in 2020-21 was a hell. By now, everybody would have deserted Imo State. But we thank God that the state has returned back to close to 70% normalcy. And I'm not exaggerating that. I come from Owerri, the capital of Imo State, and I do my business and I live here. So I can give you an accurate report of the situation in Imo.
All right, let's look at also the state of the economy too. We know that not just peculiar to Imo anyway, across the nation, the cost of living has really gone up. But at the same time, we also understand that many of these states, in fact, virtually all the states, have higher allocation now from the federal level. I mean, is the governor doing a lot in terms of helping businesses, even like yourself, to thrive?
Well, the governor doesn't need to help me to thrive. All he needs to give me a conducive environment.
And do you have that conducive environment?
Business will thrive.
Do you have the conducive environment?
We have about 70% conducive environment in Imo State as I speak to you now. You can ask your correspondents. Ask the journalists who do business in Imo.
Okay, so you are saying confidently that the business climate there, the ease of doing business in Imo State is over 70% favorable. That's what you're saying?
That's right. That's right. And I stand to be challenged.
And you stand to be challenged. Wow. Okay. Let's come back to the issue of the traditional chiefs and rulers of the state. In terms of being not just custodians of culture, but also being closer or closest to the people and also fostering development at community levels. What would you consider the challenges for many of these traditional leaders in these contemporary times?
Well, it's a generic thing. All the traditional rulers are facing similar problems. You see, with the advent of civilization, ICT, internet, migration, people living for foreign countries, the traditional rulers are no longer totally in charge of the environment, unlike before when everybody was virtually in his town. You occasionally go to the urban town and you come back. So they have that problem of holding everybody accountable. People have their differences, people have their activities. So many rulers, is that 70% of traditional rulers in this country don't stay in their domain. Most of them are businessmen. Most of them are very rich businessmen. They go to their communities over the weekend or during the week when there's an emergency. Just like the DPOs or the, you don't find them in the local government. They don't live there. Just like the local government chairman. If you go to the 774 local government chairman in this local government in this country, about 90% of them don't reside in their local government. They live in town. Some spend all the time in the hotels. So a lot of things have really gone bad, and there had to be a massive reorientation to create these values. If you're a traditional ruler, you must live in your community. If you're a businessman and you live in Lagos, some of them live abroad, and they come back to their community 2 times a year. And you find out that local governments are run by President General, traditional prime ministers, and all those. So there's a lot of distortion. Yeah.
All right. Just before I let you go, do you think that the Southeast is given, enough, what I call it, attention or space or chance or opportunity, when it comes to government at the federal level?
I beg your pardon?
I asked if you feel the Southeast is given, a lot of, what I call it, leverage, opportunity when it comes to governance at the federal level.
Well, it's a very difficult question because a lot of dynamics play out in a relationship between federal government and the zones. Southeast, south-south, north-central, whatever it is.
Or maybe I should make it easier. Do you feel that, maybe I should make it easier. Do you feel that the Southeast, I'm talking about the leaders right now, the elders and the politicians, do they support themselves enough to get government or governance at the federal level?
Well, that depends on the mode of operation of these governors in those zones.
So is it okay to say that the governors of the Southeast are very united?
Well, they are united. They are united. A couple of times, the governor of Imo State, they've had meetings in Imo State, in Enugu, and all those. So despite the fact that they belong to different political parties, but I haven't really noticed any division or any disagreement amongst them. I haven't really. I haven't.
All right. Thank you so much for your time on the program. Barrister Willie Amadi, Head of Chambers, Time Nominee Chambers. It's been a privilege having you on the program this evening. Thank you.